I need to ask you guys this. What is the point of a trailer? How am I supposed to say this? Well, let's just say many people, they don't know what a trailer is. Because right now, Highguard, they're being dislike bombed into oblivion because it is now being referred to Concord 2.0. Honestly, okay, just recently, Highguard, during the Game Awards, Highguard was the last game trailer that was announced. And what happened? Yeah, well, the dislike count goes up. And because of that, gamers express their, I believe they say something like, this is Concord 2.0, and you want to know what happened afterwards? The shield media goes into the defense. No, it's true. Look at this. This is from Veridark just recently. This one, I believe she started with this one, number one, video number one, number two, and now this is number three. I'm gonna leave all three of them either in the description and the pinned comment, okay? I think many of these developers, look, these developers should have seen, I think they're trying to replicate Marvel Rivals' success, okay? Which, in my opinion, I think it's failing, okay? We'll get to that soon.
If you make a really good product, people won't have to roast it. It's a very simple concept that a lot of developers don't seem to understand these days, and Highguard was recently unveiled, wrecked by gamers, and the developers are now freaking out over the backlash. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I completely understand not every single game can be a massive success. Not every single game can be a major win, but we can tell what has passion put into it and what was just thrown together based on a company's expectations of dollars. They just want to make money, which I don't necessarily blame them for, but they still need to provide us with a cool, high quality experience, and that looks like the opposite of Highguard. Highguard really looks like they threw Apex Legends, Titanfall, Valorant, and maybe even a little bit of Overwatch into a pot, cooked it up, and said, here's your slop, enjoy.
That is not gonna work, look. Okay, let's talk about Marvel Rivals, okay? What did Marvel Rivals succeed compared to Overwatch? The developers said they knew that convincing players to ditch Overwatch in favor of Marvel Rivals is next to impossible, okay? So what they do, my theory is that the developers of Marvel Rivals, they must predict that many Overwatch players could be either comic book fans, aka Marvel comic book fans, MCU fans, Marvel anime films, doesn't matter. They have to be a fan, so they create Marvel. And lo and behold, 10 million players. I remember, but I think they got a lot of players, which that is good. Despite being free to play, okay? In a time where live service is pretty much saturated, where many companies who try to do live service, such as Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, don't know what the fuck they're doing. Unlike Marvel Rivals and First Descendant, well, at least they know what they're doing, okay? I think I have Highguard with me. Hang on a sec. When is it coming out? The 26th of January. And also, probably, I don't know, because I'm debating to play, because there's two games that probably is going to, what am I supposed to say? Clash with my playtime. And that is Fate Trigger, and most importantly, Highguard. So I'm probably gonna choose which one to play, because Fate Trigger, they say that that game released on Q1 2026. I don't know, it could be January or February or March. Whichever comes first, I'll play both of them. And yes, maybe I will live stream it.
You're serving. It just doesn't look special at all whatsoever, and it reminds us all of a lot of other games that have recently come out, like Concord, Marathon's upcoming launch, and apparently the developers are not taking all of this criticism very well. I get that when you put a lot of time and effort into something, you want it to come out and be successful, but sometimes you just need to take a step back from social media and protect your public image. So Josh Sobel here is a lead tech artist at Wildlight Entertainment who is now making Highguard, which, by the way, developers need to stop putting guard in their games. Veilguard, Highguard, they never work out. But he said, day one of being a game dev with a public-facing game, and I got 75 plus quote retweets personally ripping me apart simply for being excited to share what I poured myself into for years. Locked the account for the time being, and he only locked it for I suppose a day, because it says he posted it on December 13th at 11:41 a.m., but then December 13th he also said I'm back. So it sounds like he was just fishing for some attention, and hey, I guess he's getting it now. Congratulations, man. Though I understand it's not one single person's fault for the direction a game was taken in. It's not one single person's fault if a game looks like it's bad, but at the same time, you need to be more aware of the industry, be more aware of what customers are looking for, and ultimately, you need to be aware that when you have a public facing game, as he calls it, which by the way, every single game is public facing because you're not making a game just for yourself, you're making it for the public's consumption, you are going to face criticism. And it's like every single developer now needs to go through PR courses.
Well, frankly, they can't, because the problem is transparency. Transparency, like it says, is non-existent, frankly. Sometimes it takes like, what, a layoff for someone to at least take accountability. But then again, they won't take accountability. I mean, look what Take Us North, or no, not Take Us North. Yes, the Indie Game Awards. When Asmongold react to their announcement, you wanna know what they do? They run and hide. Unbelievable. I don't know what they're trying to do.
Because you are representing a company, you are representing a product, and sure, I get that you're still going to have your own opinions, but in this case, it seems like he was just having a meltdown because he wasn't being praised for the way that this game looked right off the bat. I mean, clearly there are hundreds of thousands of people who think that this just doesn't look good. The IGN upload has 344,000 views. It's got 4K likes and 43,000 dislikes. And it's like they said, ChatGPT, generate a hero shooter with fantasy elements. And this sucks. We've seen this time and time again. People don't like it. And you need to understand where customers are coming from. And instead of actually, responding to genuine criticism, he's only responding to people that are saying, oh man, I'm so sorry, those mean gamers are calling you out. And it's not like we expect much from these people, but there's no examples of these quote-unquote personal attacks. They don't actually prove that this was happening. They didn't hide any replies on this post either. I personally am led to believe that they are just, ultimately fishing for attention, which is what all of these developers do nowadays.
It's not working. Look, understand one thing. Criticism isn't harassment, okay? As a public figure, you have to accept criticism. You know how many times people like Veradart, Hypnotic, and myself, or many others who cover this, had to face criticism? You know what we always do? Oh wait, you know what? Let me give you Ono Alex, for example. He take that stream, take that clip, and turn it into fucking content. Most of us, we just did what normal people do, okay? We called it out, and after that, move on, okay? There was one clip, or in this case, I remember Penguin Zero, when he was calling out TikTok Guru, I believe, and he said he doesn't like milking dramas, but sometimes he was forced to. He doesn't want to because otherwise it affects him mentally. Same goes for me. I don't want to do this whole milking for drama unless if I had to call them out, which is a different thing, okay?
Somebody even asked, are the tweets personally ripping you apart, or are they criticizing the project that doesn't look particularly appetizing? And he says, nope, most of them are personal attacks for setting mental health boundaries, aka setting a tweet to friends-only replies to limit the insults popping up on my phone all day. You know what you could do? Is walk away from social media. You could put the phone down. You could log out of your X account. You could log out of your Blue Sky account. You could just go about your day like normal, because all you're doing by sitting here and on one day in the morning saying you're locking the account, and on the same day in the evening posting your back, it just makes you look like you're fishing for attention, and maybe he really didn't mean for it to appear that way. I'm gonna go out on a limb though and say he was looking for a little bit of toxic positivity. He was looking for his peers to pat him on the back.
Well, that will work, but sadly it's not gonna, in long term it's not gonna work. Remember, these are your customers. Josh Sobel, understand one thing. These people that you say that are toxic or perhaps that are engaged in hate or anything, they are the ones that buy your product, okay? That will keep your studio alive. You alienate them, and I'm not gonna say this again. You alienate them, your chances of your game to succeed is low, okay? Is slim.
This post by Pirate Nation got quite a bit of attention, and it shows the Concord trilogy image of Concord, Marathon, and Highguard, which, yeah, it seems like a trifecta of slop, but lots of gamers are saying these people are way too proud all the time and are unable to handle any form of criticism.
Yeah, that's right.
Overwatch only succeeded because every guy wanted to plow Tracer. The industry has been trying to recreate Overwatch ever since while refusing to accept that simple fact. Dear gaming industry, the customer controls their purchasing power, not you. If they want to compare games to others, that's their prerogative. Sincerely, every single gamer. And I completely agree with this. It's fine to criticize. It is fine to say it looks bad, and developers should not be taking that so personally. It would be fine if they wanted to come out and say, well, technically, this element is different, that element is different, here's how our game is unique. Okay, because that actually seems like they want to have a conversation about it, but that's not what they're doing. They're just saying, oh my gosh, everybody's being so mean to me and personally attacking me, and so I need to lock my account down and fish for attention.
Now, see, this is the thing. Always remember, no one is immune to criticism. It doesn't matter whether you are from the left side, the right side, the center. No one is immune to criticism. Just like me, okay? Ono Alex tells MBG that he either can double down or embrace it and be better. I believe that's what he says. Look, here's the thing. Have you ever seen many of these grifters just, I don't know, delete criticism? Have you ever seen me delete any criticism? Whatever it is, have you seen me deleted it? Unless if it is real personal attack, then yes, I deleted it. But what about criticism? Have you seen me delete them?
Concord was a fine game that you chuds just couldn't appreciate because you were too bigoted, but don't you dare compare our game to it. It's going to be a very fun cope over the next 10 years. Maybe they shouldn't have made Concord 2 then. Reminds me of when Cliffy B was pushing Lawbreakers and got annoyed at the constant Overwatch comparison. Shouldn't have made Anti-Gravity Overwatch then, Cliff. This image, I 100% agree, is gold. It just highlights how AAA developers are all following the same formula. They're all creating the same types of games in certain genres. And yeah, right now we're having to deal with like Magitech, hero shooters, games that really don't look aesthetically pleasing. And again, titles that are throwing everything at the wall and hoping that it sticks, which I can't think of an instance where that's actually worked out successfully. Even the name Highguard is a knockoff of Overwatch. High equals over, guard equals watch. They didn't even try to do anything original. 2 or 3 devs working for this studio have listed in their About Us that they've worked on Concord, so they should be embracing the parallel. I don't know, man, we should give these guys a chance since they're not under some big company anymore. Or am I missing something from this drama? Yes, the fact that the game just doesn't look good. I give developers a little bit of credit for breaking off from the mainstream and creating their own title. Even if I think the idea of it is terrible, I would rather them create something new than completely destroy an existing series. But I can only give them so much credit because if their game is bad, at the end of the day, their game is bad.
You cannot copy people, okay? I'm gonna keep on giving this example. How do you think Marvel Rivals succeed and force Overwatch to pivot? Marvel Rivals do with the crossover, yes, the Marvel IP, the word of it, Marvel, because they predict that many Overwatch players is probably a comic book fan or an MCU fan. They must have a love for Marvel characters such as, I don't know, Rogue, Captain America, Black Widow, and guess what? It worked. And also, because of the success, Overwatch 2 was forced to improve. Although it will be an uphill battle for them to do so, okay? No, generally, it will be.
It's somehow comforting knowing that game devs are keeping the legacy of Concord alive. I want the memory of it to live on for generations, never forget. And I do actually think that Highguard is going to be a little bit more successful than Concord because Concord had a $40 buy-in fee, and I think if it was free, more people would have downloaded it and played it just for the memes. And in Highguard's case, it is going to be free to play. So I think people will jump in just to see if it is actually that bad. What's the worst they're going to do? Waste a few hours and a couple gigs and they can uninstall the game once they're done playing. But I still don't think that this is going to come out and be a smashing success. And the fact that the developers now are angry at players calling their game Concord 2 and really just coming coming out and criticizing their game, yeah, it doesn't look that good for them.
Well, for starters, let's think about one thing. Highguard is free to play, okay? Unlike in Concord, there was a premium price. Look, here's the thing, there's something you need to know. Whether it's premium price or free to play, you have to make sure the game is at least playable, okay? I'm willing to give them a chance since it is free to play. Again, if these developers continue to alienate every gamers, aka the audience, similar how Rachel Zegler did, in my opinion, the chances of Highguard's success, or in this case succeeding in the long term, is slim, okay? This person, they should do just one thing, okay? Don't alienate your audience, okay? Don't say things such as, oh, I don't know. If you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't like it, turn off the game, touch grass. Look what happened with Doctor Who when Shudigawa said, turn off the TV, touch grass and all that. Look how that ended up. And what else? Battlefield 5. If you don't like it, don't buy it. And what gamers do? Simple. They don't buy it. I hope these developers don't alienate the fan base or any of the gamers or core audience, because if you alienate them, good luck in the unemployment line, and like Asmongold would say, welcome home to McDonald's.
So, about that noise we heard on the Airborne Squad channel?
Yes?
I analysed the pattern, and the noise translates to kill me.
Well, we'll find out more once we get to the source of the contamination. I wonder what it means.